keep secrets. Sometimes it's the only way to protect the ones we love.
I know you. God Killer. What is it you want from me? Is it a god of war you came to find?
You don't really want war, do you, Kratos? All that blood on your hands? On your son's hands?
What is it you will not tell me?
I can't talk about it, but I just need you to trust me.
We follow your every whim.
But you don't believe in any of it.
And still I follow. Because all that matters is that you are safe.
But that's not all that matters. Who's keeping you safe?
I do not need you to protect me.
You sure about that?
Pretender god! For the old father!
Death can have me when it earns me.
What do you even know of godhood? In your lifetimes, has anyone ever worshipped you? Ever prayed to you? Can you even imagine that kind of love? No! You don't care about anything beyond yourself. Beyond the monster who kills without cause.
Fate only binds you if you let it. Do what is necessary. Not because it is written. Make our own destiny.
Jay from Game Informer here. In God of War 2018, we traversed Midgard and its massive Lake of the Nine, Alfheim, home to light and dark elves, Helheim, the underworld, alongside Jotunheim, the land of giants, and even Niflheim and Muspelheim, which pushed players' skills to the limit with combat trials. Sadly, Odin barred access to the remaining realms, but director Eric Williams told me we'll get to explore all 9 in God of War Ragnarok, and that the ones we've seen before will feel new again. But without further ado, welcome to Svartalfheim, a realm that exemplifies dwarven ingenuity. I'm talking technical marvels like mine pits, artificial water channels, and sprawling cities, all setting the stage for potentially complex environmental puzzles. To navigate the new realm, we'll need to rely on Kratos' toolset, his weapons, and yes, his son, Atreus. In Svartalfheim, Kratos can freeze geysers by way of the Leviathan axe, dismantle pots with his blades of chaos, and command the boy to interact with out-of-reach devices. I spoke with 2 level designers about Svartalfheim's creation, and both talked about evolving the gameplay in larger spaces. The world and its mechanics reflect the narrative. In the reveal trailer, we watched Kratos and company use sled wolves to get from one far-off point to the next, but in less frozen areas, like Svartalfheim, we'll row down streams or through open waters in a canoe. Perhaps there will be more transportation methods, but for now, all of this suggests a journey vaster and bolder than what came before. God of War games are known for their expressive, gritty action, and Ragnarok looks to be no different. In fact, 2 lead combat designers told me their process is inspired by a badass studio catchphrase, "Play with your food." And you can see how Kratos lives up to that philosophy, grappling ledges with his blades of chaos and launching opponents with the 2 new Dauntless and Stonewall arm shields. Atreus assists the war effort by stunning with arrows, destroying obstructions, swinging his bow, and summoning spectral allies like in the last game. One big change that's pretty easy to miss unless you're playing is the new ability mapped to the triangle button. By holding or mashing triangle, Kratos activates his weapon's signature move. Depending on whether he has a Leviathan axe or Blades of Chaos equipped, Kratos can infuse his steel with ice or fire. These elemental moves, called Frost Awaken and Whiplash, do extra damage by freezing or incinerating enemies. Even though you're an unstoppable ball of rage, one combat designer cautioned that we shouldn't play with all our food. Some food can eat us pretty easily too. Want more info about the new reptilian creatures called Grims or some of the playstyles you can experiment with? Go to GameInformer.com/GOW Ragnarok and be sure to stay tuned for more God of War videos.
When you are at your weakest,
when fear and doubt are a burden too heavy to bear.
remember this. You are not alone.
Time is running out. The prophecies say Fimbulwinter leads to Ragnarok. War is coming. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there, finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow you to pick a fight with gods.
I don't want to fight anyone. I just want answers.
And if those answers lead to war with Asgard,
Maybe that's what Mother wanted.
we do not know what Mother wanted.
Well, I recognize that dour expression anywhere. Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
What if there was someone who could help us?
You mean Tyr, the old god of war in these lands, who is dead?
Well, for a dead man, Odin seemed pretty keen on seeing he wasn't found.
If he's out there, we gotta find him.
Come in. What in all yarn speed the have been doing?
We're trying to stop Ragnarok, to help people. And what if the only way to do that is war?
War is not the only way.
Stop thinking like a father for a moment and start thinking like a general.
You seem like a calm and reasonable person. Are you a calm and reasonable person? In moments of crisis, panic does nothing. Harness it. Let it serve you.
Tyr!
Are you coming with us?
Undoubtedly, one of the most exciting releases for 2022 is God of War Ragnarok. Coming hot off the heels of the series' reinvention in 2018, Ragnarok seemingly still has a lot of gameplay changes in store. Here are 10 of the biggest gameplay differences we've spotted from 2018's God of War in pre-release materials for God of War Ragnarok. Keep in mind, since we are discussing changes from the previous game, there will be spoilers for God of War 2018. You hath been forewarned. In God of War 2018, there were 3 of the 9 Norse realms you couldn't travel to: Svartalfheim, Vanaheim, and Asgard. In last year's PS Blog breakdown, Sony Santa Monica confirmed that all 9 Norse realms will be playable in God of War Ragnarok, including the 6 we've already seen. Whether Muspelheim and Niflheim will once again function mainly as optional battle and maze areas has yet to be determined. Fimbulwinter is here, and that means unlike hoverboards, boats only work on water. The gameplay reveal trailer for Ragnarok showed Kratos and Atreus on a dog sled, and the newest trailer showed what looks like some kind of Norse carriage ride and even the main character submerging underwater. We don't know if this means that some type of swimming will be in the game, or if this is just a short cutscene, but there does seem to be more than one way to get around this time. Mimir may have to learn to talk a lot faster.
Enough. No stories. Not while on foot.
At a minute 40 in the new State of Play trailer, Kratos uses the Blades of Chaos as a grappling hook, a traversal option he didn't have in 2018. This should open up a verticality in the level design that wasn't really there before, and as we all know, every game is made better when you add a grappling hook. He also uses the blades a few seconds later to grab a rock from the ground and hurl it at enemies, and in the previous trailer, he leaps off an edge to do a smash attack from above. And speaking of the Blades of Chaos,
you will always be a monster.
While the moment that Kratos goes back for the Blades of Chaos was a fantastic bit of character work in God of War 2018, it's hard to argue that the blades gave a much needed boost to the game's combat variety. Finally unleashing the old God of War's legendary weapons made the gameplay really sing, and this time, barring any strange narrative turns, we should have the blades from the very beginning, meaning you'll have many more ways to trounce your enemies from the get-go, including the previously mentioned smash and rock toss, and this obviously Dig Dug inspired chain explosion. Just look at him go. First mentioned in Game Informer's cover story, the Leviathan Axe and Blades of Chaos can be infused with their particular element, ice or fire respectively. According to Game Informer, these abilities are called Frost Awaken for the Leviathan Axe and Whiplash for the Blades of Chaos, and they should further amp up both your crowd control ability and damage. Also detailed in Game Informer's cover story are two new shields Kratos will have access to, the Dauntless and Stonewall shields. Your choice of shield will depend on whether you're offensively or defensively minded, as each will have their own strengths and weaknesses, and some unique skills as well. In the same article, more shields are promised as you progress further in the game, but they don't want to spoil all the surprises just yet. It's a good thing there are so many combat changes, because Ragnarok seems to boast a ton of new enemy types. In the reveal trailer alone, we can see these glowing frog lizard dudes, these horned berserkers, this leaping lizard, a centaur, and, of course, Thor himself. The most recent trailer showed even more, including this Shape of Water person and this very tall creature, which we're guessing may be a new variant of elf? With all 9 realms to travel, there appears to be more beings gunning for your heads. In the previous game, the Valkyrie fights were the most difficult end bosses available. If they're working together in Ragnarok, that's a clear ratcheting up of the stakes for our heroes.
For the Old Father!
Just look at this team wailing on Atreus while Kratos climbs back up. I'm already shivering at the thought of fighting off 2 warrior gods at once and give me God of War mode. Given Atreus' ability to read Nordic runes, and his increased combat skill in this game, could he be guiding Kratos to attack enemies' weak points? These lava blob monsters are inscribed with what appears to be the rune for Lagu, or lake, and Kratos strikes them with both a Leviathan Axe and the Blades of Chaos in the newest trailer. Perhaps different runes will mark enemy areas as hints to defeating them. Or maybe it's just a cool lock-on symbol. Just spitballing here. This octopus-bearing fellow appears to be a new shopkeeper, adding to the previous game's roster of Brock and Sindri. Given his monocle, a classic bad guy accessory if there ever was one, his cephalopod friend, and his appraising grin when looking back and forth between Atreus and Kratos, something tells us he's about to offer a deal heavily weighted in his favor. Perhaps an ongoing quest to collect creature parts that you can trade for upgrades.
Let it serve you.
Those are 10 of the biggest gameplay changes we've spotted for God of War Ragnarok. What did you spot that you're excited about? Make sure to let us know in the comments below, and while you're here, make sure to check out our video of this Norse mythology expert reacting to God of War Ragnarok. For everything else gaming, you're already in the right place.